12 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for...
The Craig and Ryland Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on...
Magic TV.
Yeah, we're back from America. We had a good time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Hanging out in Columbus, Ohio, otherwise known as Ryland's Happy Place. Which is why he's wearing a Clippers hat. Apparently there's something to do with Columbus and basketball.
No, baseball.
A sport that's played in America, I don't know. But we're back with four brand new tricks.
Yes.
4 tricks. Unfortunately, one of them's not very good, even though you just used it to pass an audition. Kind of weird. We'll explain in a minute. But we're going to start off with a new colour-changing Sharpie. Okay, so the first trick that we're going to be looking at is relatively new. We got this from Monster Magic. It's not a Monster Magic trick, it's a Murphy's trick. But this is called Sharpen by Alain Vachon. And this is, in essence, a colour-changing Sharpie. So what you have is you have a black Sharpie. It changes into a red Sharpie. You can change it back and forth from a black Sharpie into a red Sharpie. That's basically what it is. It's a colour-changing Sharpie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to show you 2 videos. And the first video is Ryland performing this. We filmed this over in the States, didn't we? We took some tricks over to America to actually perform this, or to learn for the review show. And this is one of the ones that we took. So, before we go any further, this is a video of Ryland performing the trick to camera, so you can see what it is.
I'm Ryland. I've got a black Sharpie here. Now, what's really cool is when you take the Sharpie, and you can watch the Sharpie right there on a snap. And you think the Sharpie actually changes colour into a red Sharpie. Now, when you push it through your hand, you can actually change it back from a red Sharpie to a black Sharpie, like that. And that is magic. What?
I know you've got opinions on this trick, and I've got opinions as well. I will tell you, our opinions, or at least my opinion, is quite negative about this trick, and I'm going to try and spell out why. But you did use this to get through an audition, an online audition. Yeah, I mean, basically, when we were over in the States, you saw this talent competition, this online talent competition that you wanted to enter. But we're in the States, and we literally had no magic. You didn't have a cube, you didn't have anything. So I was like, "What have you got?" And you said, "Well, I've got a quiver, and I've got some coins." And I've got this trick that I've been learning for the review show, and I was like, "Well, put it all together then." And you did, and you put it all together, and you did the audition, and then they've just told you that you're through to the next round, which is really cool. I think probably online is the only place this pen would work. Yeah. So maybe if you're a social media magician, it would work. But what we'll do, should we play them the audition that you did as well?
Play the audition,
So let's play the audition so you can see what he did with the pen. And this was literally thrown together in a couple of minutes. But then, after watching this, we'll tell you why we're both not very keen.
Hi, my name is Ryland, and this is my audition for the Undiscovered Talent UK Series 10 online talent competition. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, because I'm a magician, I'm showing you the message using these 2 coins, which are inside this coin purse, which is now completely empty, and leave there so you can see. Now, the goal is, I'm going to take these 2 coins, and I'm going to make them completely and totally disappear, reappear in there. Now, to do this, what I need to do is I need to take the black Sharpie. The thing is, I need a red Sharpie. Problem solved. Now, I'm going to leave it up there for a sec, because remember, the goal is to let coins vanish and reappear inside the coin. Watch that. That's the first one. That's the second one. Ready. Well, that's really cool, but like I said, it has actually reappeared inside.
Okay, right, so...
I'll tell you what, before you say what you're going to say, do you want to play the other one as well? So
I've just played both of them. I've literally just played both of them, yes.
Oh, you only said the one?
No, I said both of them. We've played both of them. So we played the original video that we did for the review show, and we've played the audition. Oh. We've played both of them. I hate this with a passion. I don't know what you think of it too much, but let me just give you some facts, and then I want your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Fact number 1, it's like about an 8 or a 9 minute tutorial. No live performances, no nothing. Just an 8 or 9 minute tutorial. Very, very basically filmed. Teaches you a couple of different ways of using the pen. teaches you how to do a change where it goes through the fist, teaches you how to do one where you kind of shake it in the air, teaches you how to do a couple of different ways of changing the black pen for the red pen and back again. No live performances, no nothing. It just teaches you those, and then that's it. And that's the end of the tutorial. So the tutorial is very basic, but it does what it's meant to do. At least you've got a tutorial.
Yeah, at least you'll...
What do you think of it? Talk.
I think it's... I think it's good for social media, but I don't think you're going to be able to do it in the real world. One of those reasons would be the fact that you can't examine it.
It's not a real pen.
It's not a real pen. So like, if you ask, well, you can examine it. Like you can show.
No, you
it,
can't.
You can show it, but like if they take it, they can't open up the lid.
No, yeah. Not only can they not open the lid, but within like 1 second of looking at that pen, they would immediately know how the trick works. But yeah, they can't open the lid of the pen. If they try and open up the lid of the pen, worst case scenario, they're going to break the pen.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, they're going to see exactly how the trick works. Which is one of the reasons I hate it so much, because...
In worst case scenario, they won't open the lid and they'll just say it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's unlikely to happen. Unless they just go, yeah, that looks fine. Because here's the thing, right? In order to do it, and there's no discussion of this on the tutorial, because it's such a short tutorial, N2G would be proud. So there's no discussion on this. But my attitude is, if you're going to take a pen out to do a colour-changing Sharpie, the best time to do that is if you're taking the pen out to get them to sign a card or get them to do something with the pen. It doesn't make much sense to do it, to take a pen out just to do a colour-changing thing and then put the pen away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what I mean.
That's the biggest negative with this for me. You can't show it's a real pen. You can't even take the cap off the pen. So you can't take the cap off the pen.
Because if you, well, you can technically, but like if they take the cap off, they'll immediately see what's going on. If you take it off, then it'll expose the trick.
Yeah, you can't show the nib of the pen.
You can't show the nib of the pen. Yeah.
No, at all, because of how the trick works.
Well, there's no nib, that's what.
Yeah. And the other thing is, there's so many better ways to do a trick like this.
Yeah.
There's just so many, like, sleight of hand, you can change a red pen into a black pen, just with a flipstick vanish, or with a sleeving move or something like that. I know when I first developed my trick that I brought out this year with TCC, the Spectrum Sharpie. Mm-hmm. The reason I went for the logo, originally, my first thought with that was making a colour-changing pen. And I was actually going through the process of changing the lid of the pen, but it was too angly, and there was no way of doing it whilst at the same time making it look effective. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what they've done is they've I mean, depending on how you handle it, it does look okay. But the fact that you can't then take the lid off the pen and you can't use it as a real pen, for me, it just screams totally impractical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never do this at all in a million years. If you're wanting to, I don't want to recommend my own trick.
I think you would use just it for social media.
Yeah, if you're a social media magician and you don't have to worry about somebody then saying, can I take the pen and open it up and write something with it, then that's absolutely fine. You know, if you're a social media magician, which you were when you did that video, that audition was for a social media contest, then there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, for anybody who wants to perform for real people, there are a million ways of doing this better. Like, for example, you could take a real pen, have a black cap in finger palm, take a real pen, take the lid off the pen, change it into a black, just do a spellbound move, thumb palm spellbound move, and put it back on. Done.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways of doing this that doesn't require a really extensive gimmick.
Yeah, if you took a black pen, and you had somehow had a red pen palm somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, just like you would do when you got that, you're holding it out of position. So you take the cap off, you do a spellbound and change it into a red one, like the red cap. But while you're doing the spellbound, you swap. So at the beginning of the trick, you take a black pen and you write with it, and it's a black pen, and then you hold the pen, and you got your red pen, so it's palm there, and then palm's here, and you go like that. But as you do the spellbound with the caps, you also secretly do a spellbound with the pen, so it's like you can see now it's red cap, and then when you take the pen, you put the cap on. Oh, actually, have a look at this, and when you take it off, now you can write in red ink.
That's quite nice. You know what I would do with that is I would take the lid off the cap. I'd take the cap off the pen, give them the cap to examine, switch the pen as you give it to somebody on the offbeat, because you can't tell what colour a pen is just by giving it them. So while they're examining the cap, do the switch, give them the pen, and then come back, do the spellbound with the...
Yeah, it's easy to make not draw on each other.
Yeah,
not draw on the
do the spellbound.
Like if you give it to them, just say, make sure you don't draw on yourself because it actually is
Yeah.
permanent.
But then the cool thing is, you do the spellbound, you change the lid of the pen, and then you say, of course, whatever happens to the lid happens to the pen. Write with it now. And they wrote with it a second ago, and it was in black, and now it's in red. That would be cool.
That'd be good.
That's another trick that you can't do with this gimmick, because you can't even write with it. I'm giving it 20.
I mean, those moves that I was doing, just so you guys know, the tricks that I was doing, like the moves that I was doing with that pen, they were all done by me. None of them were on the actual tutorial.
No, the thing where you're pointing and doing that's completely yours, because you can figure out a way of making the moves that they were suggesting. Maybe because of your hand size, I don't know, but it was quite tough for you to be able to do that.
Quite tough for you though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was struggling with it as well, but it's nothing to do with hand size with me. It's to do with the fact that I'm incompetent. Anyway, 20%. What about you?
I'm gonna give it 50%, no, 40%.
40%. 40% for Ryland, 20% for me. Yeah, not very good unless you're a social media magician, and then you might want to consider it. But let's move on from close-up to stage. Let's have a look at what Ryland thinks is one of the best stage tricks to come out in the last decade. Okay, so the next trick, I'll tell you right now, is expensive. Ryland saved up all of his gig money to buy this. I'll tell you right now, this is £1,400. This is not a cheap trick. This is called the best chair production ever. I think it's called the best chair production ever. Let me look at my notes. The best chair for appearance, the best chair for appearance by Wondermakers. And it is a way of making something appear on a chair in a flash of light. Now, this was released at Blackpool. Ryland bought it at Blackpool.
Yeah.
Saved up all your gig money. Bought the chair. Hasn't actually, didn't appear at Blackpool. It had to be made and got sent over, but I think you got it like a month later or something like that. Yeah. You're going to see a performance of Ryland doing this at Chris Cross's Wizards Weekender convention. You were performing on the stage at the Wizards Weekender convention, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you did a routine that involved this. Now, just so you know, we're not going to review the other items in this. The way that Ryland forced that you put this whole act together, but the way that you forced the choice of Thea's favourite thing was Prestige 2, which we reviewed on the show a while ago. The way to make the hat and the hat appear from the pad is tricked.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I think we reviewed that.
Yeah, no, we haven't reviewed it yet. It's going to be going on the review show special soon. We're doing a review show special on Tricked. We haven't reviewed that yet, but that's the hat from pad from Tricked Magic, which is we've definitely not reviewed that. And that is an amazing trick, the hat from pad. You do that all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
The production of the wand from the hat is a wandly appearing cane. Forget about any of that. That's what Ryland used to put together this act. We're looking at the chair, the production of the teddy bear on the chair. Let's have a look at this. And I want you to talk in detail about this if you can, because you've used it and I haven't. Let's have a look at this first of all.
I have some cards. Numbered 1 to 5. Now, on the other side are my sister's, Thea's favourite things. Now one of you is going to pick any one of these, but whichever one you pick, I'm going to make it appear right in front of you. Now you're probably wondering how I'm going to do this. Well, you see, to do this, I'm going to need to use the spell Accio. And for those of you who don't know, that spell is from Harry Potter. It's the summoning spell. It makes things appear. So, you, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you, Andy. Please name any number between 1 and 5.
4.
4. Are you sure you want 4? So this one right here. There you go. Now before we look at the one you did pick, we'll look at the ones you didn't pick. So you could have picked sweets and chocolate, or jewellery and makeup, Princess Elsa, or Nintendo Switch. I know she likes a Nintendo Switch, she likes that a lot. But anyway, we'll look at what you picked. You picked a teddy bear, okay? You picked a teddy bear. going to do is take my magic wand, wave it, and oh, forgot my magic wand. It's fine. It's fine. Some of you are magicians. I'm sure someone here has a magic top hat. Does anyone? No? It's fine. I brought my magic drawing pad. It's perfectly fine. Because you see, whatever you draw in this drawing pad, you can bring to life. So, got a pen in my pocket. Yeah. So first of all, you draw a big circle. Then you draw a ring around it, make it look a bit like a donut. Then you add a U. Looks a bit like a bowler's hat, but it's a magic top hat. Now, it happens on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. This is a pretty good top hat, but like I said, I'm going to need to pull the magic wand out of it. Right, okay. Watch this. See this somewhere. Got it? There you go. That's a pretty long magic wand. Okay, right. On the chair. Akio teddy bear. I don't know about you, but that looks like a pretty good teddy bear. Is that a real teddy bear? Yeah, real teddy bear? Pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I love that routine, by the way. Out of everything that you've scripted and everything you've put together, at the moment, currently, that is my favourite trick that you do. Now, you've also, I think we've got some footage of you doing this at a kids show as well. We might not have. You've done this at quite a few shows now, haven't you? You've done this at a few stage shows. You've done this at a few kids shows. I remember the show that we went to with you, me and Thomas Maloney. It was the deluxe show when we were doing all the illusions. Thea was with us as well. It was in that really posh wedding venue. Do you remember? They had the tree house out the back for the kid as the birthday present. And you got the birthday kid up on stage to do this. You did this whole routine. You got the kid up on stage. So you gave her the hat. You gave her the wand. And she went, Akio teddy bear. What was the reaction like from her?
Oh, it was like, she thought it was really cool.
She was like, oh my God, I'm a magician. In fact, the next line was me saying, who do you think's the best magician? And she just stood up and put her hand up and she went, obviously I am. Like, I've been doing kids shows for years. I don't think I've seen a better reaction from kids as the production of that teddy bear. So I want you to talk me through the pros and the cons. I know you think this is brilliant. I want you to talk through everything, the practicality, how practical it is, how you can travel with it, set up, any issues you've had. I want to know everything because this is a lot of money for people to spend and whether you would recommend it or not. The one thing that I will add to this is watching the tutorial. I will tell you it's not just limited to a teddy bear. When you buy the trick, you get a teddy bear, you get the chair, you get everything that you need to put this together, but it's not just limited to a teddy bear. You can make anything that will...
Yeah, anything that will fit in of that.
I think we're okay talking about the fact there's a load chamber in the chair. I don't think we're giving too much away to magicians to say that.
Yeah, but if you put anything you put that will fit in there, you can put in there.
So they talk about making a box appear for a prediction and stuff like that and things. Yeah, anything. Use your imagination. The bear is probably the best thing because the bear compresses nicely. Yeah. So it actually ends up looking bigger than it actually is. Right, Ryland, take it away because you've used this a lot. So
alright, just give me questions and I'll answer them, I guess.
Okay, so first of all, what are the performing limitations? Like once it's set up, can you do it 360? Can you do it completely surrounded?
Okay, so once you want it set up, you would have it on the stage and it's kind of like, not like a 90-degree angle, a little bit wider than a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, if you look at it from the side, they're going to see what's going on.
So I think it's like a 110-degree angle.
But you can have a spectator come up on stage and sit on the chair.
As long as they don't obviously walk around the chair.
As long as your audience management is there. And the chair is strong enough to put stuff on it, put people on it. You can sit on the chair, can't you?
You can sit on the chair.
Am I boring you?
No, I'm just a bit tired, a bit jet lagged.
A bit jet lagged from America. You can sit on the chair. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
What's the setup like in terms of, because it's got its own little carry case, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's an illusion. It's like an illusionette, but it fits in the back of a car easily. It's like you could go on a train with this if you wanted to. It packs very
I wouldn't
flat.
recommend because it hurt your shoulder.
Yeah, because it's heavy.
Yeah.
But it packs flat.
It packs flat, yeah.
But what's the setup like when you get to? Because when you first set this thing up, it took you like an hour and a half. I think you're a bit quicker now.
Yeah, what you got to do is you've actually got to like screw in the chair with like an Allen key. Like you got to screw it all in, and then you've got to set up the bear, which nearly smacked me in the face once.
So how long does it take to set up?
I would say about half an hour.
So you've got to allow half an hour, unless you've got like a
Maybe
van.
not half an hour. It's not going to take that long. Probably like 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Originally, when the first gig that we went to with it, it did take you about half an hour.
Yeah.
But you've got faster as you've been doing it.
Yeah, think about like at the Wizarding weekend.
Yeah.
That was only like 10 minutes.
Okay, and next question. So it takes 10 minutes to set up.
Around about that, yeah.
That's
I mean, if you've been doing it a lot, you're going to get very fast at it.
Yeah, and the more you do it, the better.
The creator could probably do it in 2 minutes.
Doubt it, but okay.
Probably good.
Now, how hard is it to set up the bear? Because when you set that bear up inside that chair, it looks like you're humping the chair. I've got to be honest with you. Like you're sitting there on it, and you're like grinding away against the chair. Like, can you go? What is the setup of the chair? It does. It really does look weird.
Okay, so you put the chair with the bear a bit slanted, and you want to like push his stomach in, and then once his stomach's in, you kind of want to lift the flap up like halfway, and then you want to sit on that part that's like there, and then you gotta like push your stomach into the chair to get it to close properly, and then once you're nearly all the way there, you gotta use your I recommend using the elbow to push it in, and then flicking the switch, pressing the button with your finger on the other hand.
Right. It's not that hard. It looked hard when you first did it.
Yeah,
like when you first started doing it, you couldn't even set it up. You were like, stupid bear. I remember you actually kicking the bear across the room at one point when you were trying to learn how to do this. I'm trying to work out what the learning curve is for this.
Yeah, you want to find your own position. So like you put the place that you want the bear to go, so it doesn't fall off the chair, or it doesn't like fall flat on its face like on the chair. You want to just...
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you first started doing it, the bear would fall off the chair and fall on the floor, and that doesn't look as good as the bear appearing on the chair.
Yeah.
Is that because you're an idiot? Like, did you have to find...
Oh yeah, you have to like find the right spot.
So now, when you set it up, you don't worry about the bear falling off because you know how to keep the bear in there so he doesn't do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the flashy light, would this work just as well outside?
I think so, yeah.
Because there's that flash of light, but if you're outside... It's a big flash of light. But, I mean, we have seen it without the flash of light, and it still looks good.
It still looks good.
Still looks good. Still looks good. And it's on a remote control. There's one button that you press, though, isn't there? So it's like, I mean, you've got me, remote control man in the wings, that's got your 55,000 remote controls in front of me going, holy shit. But like, if you've not got a dad that's sucker enough to come and do that for you, like... Could you remote control it from, like, your pocket?
Yeah, just stick it in your pocket and then press the button.
Brilliant. From now on, you're doing it then. Great.
No, but like...
Fooled you with that one.
No, because, like, I don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that. Okay.
You could, though.
So, big question. You've paid almost £1,500 for this prop.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Would you pay it again? Like, if you could turn back time, if you could find a way... Would you take back the money that you spent and do something else with it? Or would you, like, that's what I want to know. Like, is it worth it? Because you've done this in almost every single show. You've put together the Magic and Mischief show now with your sister, and this is a big part of the Magic and Mischief show. Is it worth the money?
What I would do is, now I know how it works, I would take the money back, make one myself, and then spend the rest of the money on Lego.
I can't see how you could make this yourself.
Well, I can make it in the factory.
I don't see how you'd make this yourself. This is really well made.
It is really well made.
It's really well made. You worry sometimes about electronic devices. This has never failed, has it?
Yeah, but if I make my own electronic device, then no, it never fail.
Right. Okay. I know you're kidding. But so what are you giving it? What are you giving it? I mean, I'm going to give this 100%, even though I've not done it in my show. it's in my warehouse. I would definitely take it. Well, we're doing it in the shows where we are together, aren't we? Like if it's a Craig and Ryland show, we take it with us. But it's yours, not mine. But I would give it 100%. What are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it 120% plus tooling.
120% plus tooling. It's not cheap, but if you want something that's really going to make your show stand out, this is definitely it. And the other thing is, you don't have to actually, like if you're doing an illusion show and you've got a van, you can have the chair set up in the van. You don't have to actually.
If you've got a van,
yeah. Okay.
If you're taking a small show, you could probably just stick this in the boot of a car.
Yeah.
Pack it carefully.
Yeah, but this is actually probably the smallest part of his show. Gives you an idea of how big his show is. But anyway,
To be honest, in the illusion show, that probably is the smallest part.
It is the smallest part.
It is the smallest part.
It is the smallest part of the show. This is a front of cloth, people, believe it or not. Anyway, 120% from Ryland, 100% from me. This is brilliant. Let's move on. So the next trick, Ryland, we are looking at Chipnosis by Antoniou and
Which one's this?
It's the one that it's Chris Congreave's trick. You know, you saw him actually. He did this to you at the Wizards Weekender.
I forgot. I'm joking. No, I remember.
Chipnosis by Antoniou and Chris Congreve, Mind Hacker and Stellar Magic. They've teamed up.
Wasn't this the one with like the leather pocket?
Yeah. So basically, the effect
I've
is.
actually seen that one before, so I was
It's
like,
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the effect here is it's a little.
How it works?
It's a little key ring. It's a little key ring that you just literally have hanging on your key fob, and basically you show that there's one single poker chip in there, and you start off by having somebody name a value, and the value ends up being the value of the poker chip, and then so that's the first phase, which is a very simple methodology that people will have seen before, but then you give them the poker chip. And you play a game with them. You play a which hand game with them. So they put the chip behind their hand, or you put it behind your hand, and you play 3 rounds with them, and they have to guess where the chip is, and the outcome is predicted right in front of them. So they look at the chip, and it says on the chip the results of the 3 rounds that you've played. So, for example, if you won 2 and they won 1. We'd look at the chip and it'd say, you won 2 and I've won 1. Whatever it is, whatever the outcome is, and there is no force of the outcome. There's no like electronic devices with the witch hand routine. Whatever the outcome is, it's predicted.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very, very damn clever.
It is.
This
is very good.
Look, this isn't like the most.
It's kind of like that trick that he did with the £20 note.
There is similarities to the £20 note trick. He did tell me that was kind of the starting point, but this is better. Yeah.
Yeah, this is better.
This is better, and the reason this is
got
better.
A lot of high quality.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think high quality is a word, but
no.
Better props.
Well, Antoniou is like an amazing leather worker.
Yeah, leather worker.
You know, if you're gonna have leather, then you get Tony.
Isn't he the one that you went to for your cheat chips?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, when you go to get leather done, you either go to Antoniou, the Mind Hacker, or you go to Ari Phillips from Grum, who you obviously, they had a leather war earlier in the community. Leather wars. They were arguing about a deck.
Can I see it?
Well, I don't think they actually had a fight.
No. I want to see that stuff.
You want to see? You want the good stuff. You want to know what the leather wars. So, who would you be? Who would you be rooting for? Ari, or Tony? Who do you reckon would win in a fight? Ari kind of looks. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
But
Big
Tony
nice
kind of looks like the Godfather. He's always dressed smartly in a suit. I think he could mess you up if he wanted to. I think he's got some hidden skills. It's a good job they didn't come to blows. If it had, I think it would have been a bloodbath in the magic community. Mm-hmm. I think they're friends again now. Yeah. Anyway.
Ari's a nice guy.
Ari's a nice guy, yeah.
I don't think he would beat up Antoniou.
Antonio might not let him. Antoniou.
He's very nice.
I know you like he supplied you with your top cup, he supplied you with pretty much everything. Anyway, luckily
he didn't supply me with is that
the thing that you created for cheetah chips.
Yeah, you need one of those, don't you? You gave yours. Yeah, you got one.
You gave me yours.
I gave you yours. Yeah, well, he gave us two. One for me, one for you. So I've got the other one. Anyway, much of a muchness, by the by, whatever. This is a great trick. Let's have a look at a performance of it very quickly. We've got a performance. We've chatted for 5 minutes. We haven't even looked at a performance. This is a performance of Chipnosis. So yeah, we're going to try and do something. I'm going to show you the difference between mind reading somebody's mind, and making a prediction. This is a big difference. You're going to see a difference right now. First of all, reading somebody's mind. I have, inside this little key fob here, a poker chip. One poker chip. Now, it's either a 10 poker chip, it's either worth £10, it's worth £50, or it's worth £100. You're going to make all the decisions. I want you to imagine, look over here, there's an invisible £10 poker chip here, an invisible £50 poker chip here, an invisible £100 poker chip here. 10, 50, 100. In your imagination, when I snap my fingers with your left hand, you're going to lift up either the 10, 50 or 100. No, I'm clicking, you're lifting. I'm the magician, you're the spectatory person. So 10, 50, 100. When I snap my fingers, pick one of them up with your left hand. Go. Which one have you got?
The 100.
The 100. Now, when I snap my fingers again with your right hand, pick one up.
50.
Okay, so that was a choice, right? So what is that left on the table? Your choice. What was that?
10.
And you could have done it any way. You could have picked up any ones that you wanted to, but you chose to pick up 2 of them and leave 1 on the table, which is the 10. I have only one, but you can keep those souvenir. There you go. Keep them. Don't spend them all at once. In here, I have 1 poker chip. You selected the £10 poker chip. The poker chip I have in here is a £10 poker chip. OMG. Oh my God. How good's that? Now, we're going to go one step further. We're going to go, well, that was pretty good. That was kind of reading your mind, influence, getting you to do what I want you to do. But I've made a prediction. Okay? We're going to play a little game where you put this poker chip behind your back. Yeah. You hide it in one of your hands and you bring your hands out and I have to guess where it is. Okay? Mm-hmm. Actually, no. I think you're an expert at this. I'll let you do it to me. So I'm going to put this behind my back. I'm going to put it in one hand. You have to guess where it is. We're going to play 3 times, by the way. And then at the end... No, we're going to have that. And I'm going to prove to you I knew exactly what would happen. Okay? So, first time, where's the poker chip? It's not in there. You want to switch to that one, trust me. No, you really want to switch.
I'm opening...
Okay, fine. That's 1 to you. No. I would seriously change if I were you. And that would be 1 to me. 1-1. Last one. You ready? Hang on. You sure you want that one?
Yes.
Okay, you won. You won 2-1. Okay, you won 2-1. You won 2-1. You won 2-1. But here's the thing. You won 2-1. You won the £10 poker chip. But I said I was going to predict everything that you did. Mm-hmm. And I did. I knew you would win 2-1.
How?
Well, this is the poker chip you picked, right? Mm-hmm. The £10 poker chip.
Yep.
You never looked at the other side. Read the other side. What does it say?
10, 5.
No, you
will win 0-3.
You will win 2-1, smelly knickers. You win 2-1. I predicted everything. I'm the man. Did you like that one?
Yeah.
It's a good one, isn't it? Yeah? Give me my poker chip back. So, there you go. Look, it's very, very simple. I'm sure everybody who's watching knows how that first phase is done. You can do the first phase however you want to. The second phase is the kicker. It's very, very simple. This is bigger than the sum of its parts. What I love about it, it's not the biggest trick in the world. If you were going to go on Britain's Got Talent, you probably wouldn't do this trick. You probably wouldn't go, Simon, I've got the perfect trick for you, and pull out your little leather holder with a poker chip in. However, this is the sort of trick where if you're a mentalist or you do mental magic and you want to prove that you can influence somebody, this is the way to go with it. It absolutely is.
When I go like this, it blocks out the bright light.
Oh, there you go. That's good to know. The other thing is poker chip magic is cool. This is a great lead into poker chip magic because you can do this and then you could move on to, say, cheetah chips, for example, or something else. But there's lots of different...
Big Blind.
Or Big Blind. I know you do both of them. There's lots of different ways that you can
All
actually...
of them.
You do all the poker chip tricks. But what's
Okay,
nice...
poker.
Yeah. This just hangs on your
That's
key
cool.
fob. This just hangs on your key fob and you're good to go anytime, anywhere. It's an instant reset. Check. It's examinable. Check. There's no angle issues. Check. There's no table required, so it's perfect for walk around.
Check.
It's interactive and happens in the spectator's hands.
Check.
Check. And it's completely impossible. Check.
Check.
This ticks all the boxes.
Check.
Hopefully, the legend that is Tony and
He's
the
not as
legend
good as
that is
all your
Chris
It's
will
not as
team
good
up.
as all your tricks. Check.
It's not as good as... So was that a compliment? You just said it's not as good as all your tricks. So in other words, my tricks are better.
Your cheater chips.
Oh, that's nice, thank you. I do love this though. I'm going to... Well, I've been using this. This is actually... I've put this on the key master key fob.
But you didn't give me one.
I'll get you another one from Tony and Chris if you want to. In fact, I'm seeing Chris. I'll get one from Chris. I'll buy another one for you.
Okay.
But I really wanted this. This is genuinely on my key fob, right there, and it's part of my key
What,
set.
where?
Right on the key fob, right there. I'm giving
Like
this.
keys?
Yeah, they're there. Key master, gatekeeper, key cutter,
What about your house?
karate key, Scotch and whiskey, all the ones.
What about your
I don't count.
What about monkey?
Monkey, I don't do. I like monkey, but it's rested at the moment. Anyway, I'm giving this 100%. I love this. I think this is brilliant. What are you giving it?
I'm also going to give it 100%.
100%.
It's good.
100% from me.
Very good.
It is very, very good. So there you go. That's Chipnosis by Tony Antoniou, the Mind Hacker, and Chris Congreave, the Black Country Scoundrel. We're now going to go on to the final review. Let me check my notes for this. The final review by Vanishing Ink and by Wolfgang Moser is Moser's Miracle Monte. Now, Moser's Miracle Monte...
Hold the foot.
Go ahead.
Yay.
Bearing in mind that you're putting it in the bin.
Alright, I'm pitching.
Pitch it to the bin. That wasn't the bin, that was the TV. Right, Moser's Miracle Monte was the very first trick that Vanishing Ink ever brought out.
The very first Monte ever.
No.
Wow, that's an old Monte.
No, but it is the very first trick that Vanishing Ink brought out. When Vanishing Ink got formed as a company.
It's only
and
just started.
What? No. Bear with me. I'm going to tell you a history lesson now. One day, Ryland, listen, I'm telling you a story. One day, there was a young American man walking through the streets, and his name was Joshua. And he went to a magic convention, or went to perform somewhere, and met another young man who was British, and his name was Andy. And Andy and Josh, they met up. It's not that boring. They met up, and they decided there and then that they were going to be friends forever.
Friends forever.
And Josh and Andy said, one day we will start a magic company. And that's what they did, and that company became Vanishing Ink.
Why did they call it Vanishing Ink?
No idea. It's cool though, isn't it? Vanishing
I wish I
Ink.
could do that with the pen I accidentally drew on my school t-shirt.
When Vanishing Ink was formed and they needed a really good trick to launch the company, they launched it with Moser's Miracle Monte. And it's not that, as we all know, Vanishing Ink has been around now for well over a decade. And this trick has not been available for a very long time. And now Vanishing Ink have bought it back, and they've bought refills for it as well. So Moser's Miracle Monte is based on the Skinner 3-card Monte, popularised by Michael Skinner's 3-card Monte, popularised by Bill Malone from back in the day, which is a Monte that you've learnt and used over the years. It's the Monte that Theo uses as well. It's the 3-card Monte where you show the 3 cards, and one at a time you deal them down to the table. And because of the way that the cards are gaffed, you're always in control of where the card is. Now, Moser's Miracle Monte takes Skinner's 3-card Monte, adds a couple of really cool extra phases into it.
Extra cool, extra phases.
But the finale of it is awesome, because the finale, you actually tear the card and you show them where the piece is. And even though you've torn the card and you see where the ace is, they're still unable to follow it. Now, if you haven't seen a performance of this, let's have a look at a quick performance of me performing this to Ryland, And then after the performance, we'll talk about
the 3 cards.
Yes.
This is called the 3-card trick because it uses 3 cards. It actually uses 2 3s and an ace. Do you see the ace?
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, it's the ace that you've got to follow, the ace of hearts, not the 2 3s. That's the money card because if you follow that and you get it right, you win the money. I'm going to make it easier to follow. First of all, if I do any moves, I'm going to do them very slowly. Second of all, I'll give you a chance to see that ace right up until the very last second. Where is the ace, top, middle or bottom?
Middle.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That would be the 3. The ace is actually over here on the bottom.
Oh.
Did you miss it?
Yeah.
A lot of people do. Should we do it again? Okay. We'll make it a lot easier to follow this time because I'm actually going to take one of those 3s and get rid of them. You see, last time there were 3 cards. You had a 33% chance of winning. This time there's only 2 cards. It means that you've got a 50% chance of winning. And I'll go really slowly again. There's the ace. You know where the ace is. Bonk. There it is. I'm just going to go, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all I do. Just check. Amazing. Where's the ace? Top or bottom?
Top.
You're saying top?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The answer is that there's no ace. Those are the 2 3s. The ace is over there on the table.
Oh.
You can't win this. You literally can't win this. It's impossible to win. Should we do it one last time?
Yeah.
Okay. One final time, my little friend. Okay. I'm going to make this super easy. Do you see the ace?
Yeah.
I'm going to go super easy. Do you see the ace? The ace goes right there. Okay. Now, to make it a little bit easier to follow, I'm going to make a little tear in the ace. Little tear. Can you see that tear?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't see it well enough. Let me make the tear a bit bigger. You see the tear?
Yeah.
Probably not big enough, right? Hang on, let me make the tear a little bit bigger. Is that a bit bigger?
Yeah.
Let me do this. That should make it easy to follow.
I think it's a bit easier.
Yeah, it's easier, right? So don't worry about the 3. Don't worry about the 3. Watch the ace. Okay?
Yeah.
See, let me make it a little bit easier. Let's just take that off. Right, watch. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Watch the ace. Where's the ace? 1, 2 or 3?
3.
You're saying 3?
Yeah.
Well, the correct answer is 1. You see, that's a 3. That's a 3. The ace was over there from the very, very beginning, and that's why you should never play cards with your dad.
So that was Moser's Miracle Monte. Now I'll tell you, there's a million Monte routines out there. My friend Nemi Phoenix on his YouTube channel, Magician Levels Up. He's just done a retro review of a bunch of.
Why is it named after your trick? Leveled up.
Yeah, I know, right? He's just done a review
I'm a
of.
magician and I've leveled up. Magicians level up. You can get mine.
He's just done a retro review of a bunch of different Montes. There's so many different Montes you can pick. There's colour Monte, there's stand-up Monte, there's all the Montes, and there's so many different.
Monte.
3-card Monte, 2-card Monte, 4-card Monte, 1 million card Monte. There's a lot of different Montes out there.
Trillion coins.
There's lots of different Montes out there. I'm going to make a bold statement and say that right now, this is one of my favourite Monte routines to perform. And the reason is I've always loved the Skinner 3-card Monte. And I had this back in the day when Vanishing Ink first formed, and I'd forgotten about it. And now it's come back out. I'm so glad I've learnt it again, because this is worth its weight in gold. This is brilliant. Now, when you buy it, you get about 20 refills. You get the cards that you need. You get about 20 refills. Every time you do this, you're going to destroy one of the cards. Luckily, Vanishing Ink are doing refill packs, so you can buy a ton of them. And it allows you to perform this routine over and over again. So you can just throw a bunch of refills in your case and you're good to go. This is amazing. It's really good. And I've done all of the Montes. I love Monte routines. I've just done Stuck Up Monte on the Stick Up project with Matthew Wright. I love Monte routines. I really do. I think they're so engaging. I know you don't really do Monte routines. I do. And Skinner 3-card Monte is great. This is a better version of the Skinner 3-card Monte. That moment at the end, it's called Moser's Miracle Monte. That moment at the end where you peel back the card and you show that you've got the where the ace is, and you tear the corner off, and then even then it turns into the 3. That's a beautiful moment, and you can give them that torn card as a souvenir, because once you've done that, there's nothing to find, and you're not going to be able to use it again, so you can give that out as a souvenir. Yeah. I'm going to give this 150%. I think this is brilliant. What about you? I don't think you're going to get as excited about this as I am.
I might give it 79%.
79%, that's the best mark we can give something if you're not going to use it. Why are you not going to do it, loser?
I don't think that'll be. I don't think it suits me.
You don't think it suits you? You don't do card tricks?
I just don't think it suits me. I don't think it's a trick that I would do. It's not a trick that, not a type of trick that I would do.
Not the type of trick he'd do. But he likes it. Giving it 79%, but he's not going to do it. I, however, am going to do it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So there you go. You can get it. You can get that, and you can get the refill packs from Vanishing Ink. You can get them from all the magic dealers because Vanishing Ink have put it in Murphy's. But support Vanishing Ink. Go get it from Vanishing Ink. It's called Moser's Miracle Monte. You can pick it up straight away. It's brilliant.
There's no review in the bag.
Yes, it is.
My
Ow!
hands in the way. There's no review in the bag. There's no review in the bag.
That is another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on... There you go. Thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You want to follow him. He is on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as Ryland the Kid Magician. You can also follow me, Magic TV. And don't forget, if you want to join the Netrix and get access to my online streaming platform, you just go to www.thenetrix.com.
Cookies! And it's not www anymore.
It is, right? It is.
It's the Netflix.cookie.
Look, for old people like me, there's still a www there, all right?
You're
Okay.
old.
Do you not even know what www stands for?
No. Worldwide.
World Wide Web.
Really?
Yeah, World Wide Web.
Cool.
He doesn't care. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. He'll be back next Wednesday with me, but until then, my name's Craig.
I guess mine is Ryland.
His name is Ryland. We'll see you again. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.